What's going on, Modder Chodes? It's your boy Long Neil back again with another new video, and in today's video we're going to be taking a look at the hot post from r/MaliciousCompliance. Let's get into it. Alright, here we got one that's called Gotta Respect the Speed Limit. I live on a long, hilly rural road. It has a 45-mile-an-hour speed limit and is a no passing zone the entire way. It's illegal, unsafe, and nearly impossible to pass someone no matter how slowly they're going. Because it's a quiet road and away from town, the locals will normally drive 50 to 55 miles an hour. This was fine until police started setting speed traps. Because the road is so hilly, it's easy to accidentally go 55 miles per hour when going downhill. This is how they got me and a lot of my neighbors. Okay, fine, it's technically speeding, but I leave work around the same time they start heading back home. So I either see them fly ahead of me at 60 miles an hour or tailgate me the entire way home. It pisses me off. So I started driving the speed limit, exactly the speed limit, 45 miles an hour down the entire stretch of road. When we come to those sharp turns, I go all the way down to 20 miles an hour, the suggested speed. Almost every night a cop gets stuck behind me the entire way and there's no way for them to pass me. They also can't turn on another road because all other roads are just gravel back roads that lead to farms. My long, hilly road is their only route. It definitely pisses them off. They will turn their brights on and weave around their lane and try to get me to speed up. As soon as I turn onto my driveway, they've gun it. I've even had one turn his lights on to make me pull over, only for him to speed past me and drive ahead. It's probably not smart to inconvenience a cop, but what else am I supposed to do? I'm just respecting the speed limit. I see this all the time. Cops are always speeding past me without their lights on, especially on the tollway. You know, I'm already going 5, even 10 over, and boom, there goes a cop. It has to be going 20, 25 over, and I'm like, man, if I was doing that, you would have just pulled me over. Like, what the heck? Alright, this story is titled, Science Teacher Has a Swear Jar. I took a biology class my sophomore year in high school, and my teacher was pretty cool. She was laid back, funny, and didn't have your typical teacher vibe. She had set up a curse jar in the room, and the funds were used to pay for supplies. 25 cents if you swore, but $1 if you dropped an F-bomb. One day, we were doing some group work in the tables, the one with the Bunsen burner and the sink in the middle. Behind me was a kid that was particularly annoying and pretty talkative. Patrick was probably the type of kid who later went on to cure cancer or create Minecraft. Smart kid, but he was basically a 17-year-old Martin from The Simpsons. Anywho, we're all trying to do our work and Patrick is getting on my nerves. He keeps making loud, bad jokes and poking his head in on our project, telling us what we were doing wrong. I asked him twice to just worry about his own table, but the third time I lost it. I walked up to the front of the class, pulled out my wallet, grabbed $1, and put it on the teacher's desk. I turned around and said quite loudly, "Patrick, shut the F up!" I walked back to my table and sat down. The entire class was silent and was staring at me and then the teacher. She looked down at the $1 bill on her desk and started laughing out loud. The rest of the class joined in and Patrick shrunk into his seat. The teacher then said, well, he paid his $1. And that's the story of how I told the kid to STFU in class without getting in trouble. Alright, this one's called Security Made Us Show the Last 5 Photos on Our Phone. My coworker, an absolute hero, maliciously complied at security on one of our subcontractor jobs. The customer was a manufacturer for high-end electronic components. Security was tight as a small 4x6 inch box could contain $250,000 worth of microchips. Our team was installing equipment in their facility for 1 week. A security checkpoint had to be passed every trip in or out of the building. Mr. Security Guard, Chad maybe, decided my coworker, Steve probably, was more suspicious than the other 4 techs. So every trip in or out, not only was Steve made to dump his entire contents of his backpack out on the table and go through it, Chad required Steve to show him the last 5 pictures taken on his phone to prove he wasn't stealing secrets. This is all fine, except Chad lets everyone else walk through without any sort of inspection. Steve is trying to stay positive, but obviously this is eating away at him. Steve tries to be overly positive and also a bit snarky with comments like, "Thank you, Paul Blart, for keeping America safe," which busts up the rest of our crew. Then Steve has the idea that we'll free him the rest of the week. Wednesday comes along and Steve is overly scrutinized on our way in, as usual. As we head to security at lunch, Steve says he has to go to the bathroom. He comes back out and a few minutes later, absolutely giddy. Chad Blart, mall cop, stops us on our way out and asks Steve to see his camera roll. Steve gladly hands the phone over. Chad is greeted by some very peculiarly angled shots of Steve's butthole. "What the F?" Chad throws the phone down on the table. "Oh, sorry, I thought I had a hemorrhoid and wanted to see how bad it was. Is everything okay with my pictures? Is the facility safe?" Chad never checked Steve's materials again. Good on you, Steve. And that's how Steve was able to steal $200,000 worth of microchips. This next story is called "Teacher Asked Why It Takes So Long in the Restroom." Context: I have a weak stomach, causing me to be in the bathroom for extended periods of time. This incident happened about 2 months ago in my literature class. I had just finished an exam when I started to get the shits. I got up from my desk and asked the teacher if I could use the restroom. She said yes, and I headed down the wing to the restroom. I wasn't feeling too well and ended up spending about 20 minutes on the toilet. Once I started to feel better, I headed back to class. I walked in the classroom and my teacher began berating me about how I was skipping class, that she was going to send me to ISS, etc. I tried to explain myself, but she wouldn't believe me unless I gave her evidence. So I ended up getting a week of after-school detention. Fast forward to yesterday, I again wasn't feeling well and asked to use the restroom. My teacher gave me a snarky response saying, "You're not going to just skip, are you?" I just ignored her and headed to the restroom. Once I got there, I ended up releasing the floodgates and being stuck in the bathroom for about 30 minutes. Knowing if I went to class I would get chewed out, I took out my phone and took a photo of my creation. Oh yeah. I head back to class and my teacher starts her rant about me skipping. I tell her I was in the restroom and again, she doesn't believe me. So I pull my phone out, showing her the photo. She was disgusted beyond belief, starting to gag, throwing up in her trash can. It got so bad that she ended up leaving early. Sadly though, I did get in-school suspension for it. This teacher is a little over dramatic if she really started to gag and throw up and had to leave school early just from a poop pic. But man, good on this kid. I hate when teachers go, no, you can't go to the bathroom. It's like, nah, I wasn't really asking. I was telling you I'm going to the bathroom. All right, Matter Chodes, that's it for the hot post from r/MaliciousCompliance. If you enjoyed the video, please make sure to give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications. And share this video with your friends if you liked it. Till next time, peace.